आचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् एकदन्तं महाकायम् तप्तकाञ्चनसन्निभम् लम्बोदरं विशालाक्षम् वन्देऽहं गणनायकम् षडाननं कुङ्कुमरक्तवर्णं महामतिं दिव्यमयूरवाहम् रुद्रस्य सूनुं सुरसैन्यनाथं गुहं सदाहं शरणं प्रपद्ये. So we have completed planets, houses, bhavas, and karakas. So after that, we are actually going to a thing in astrology which we call the yogas. Yogas, basically, like that word will be very familiar. The word yoga means combination, or like the one that connects, or like the one that actually combine two things. So basically, like in a hatha yoga, the yoga is actually where you connect the annamaya kosha with the pranamaya kosha, like using breathing and movement together. You are actually connecting the annamaya kosha to the pranamaya kosha. That is the yoga, or like connection of the jivatma to the paramatma. That is the yoga there. In astrology, whenever you say yoga, it speaks mostly about the combination of planets. That means more than one planet staying in one sign, combined, like combined existence of more than one planets in a sign. It can be the combined energy of the planet. That means the planets combining their energy together, intermingling their energy together. That is what the basis of the yogas. So we believe that yoga in Vedic astrology, we believe that they are actually showing the particular good karma or the particular bad karma from the previous life. So your horoscope itself is actually connected with the previous life. That means the previous life is the primary factor in determining the horoscope. But inside that, the yogas are actually a better, a better representation of the previous life, because they actually shows regarding the best blessings and the worst problems connected with the previous life. So even though every planetary position is actually an indication of the karma from the previous, yogas particularly indicate karma that are actually heavily, like very heavy from the previous life. So yoga shows the heavy karmas from the previous life. So it is two types generally: the good yogas, or like the good planetary combinations, and also like bad yogas, or the bad planetary combinations. And good planetary combinations are showing what we call the punya, or like the good karma from the previous life. And the bad planetary combinations are actually showing the papa, or the bad karma from the previous life. So that is the general idea. So anytime if you actually see two planets, that is a combination, that is a yoga. So anytime if two planets are actually situated together in a sign, or if they are actually aspecting each other inside a sign, that actually is one yoga, or like one combination. But in that sense, there will be like many yogas. But here we are actually like it is an astrologer's lifetime effort to study all the yogas, like all the possible combinations, because two planets combined in any sense will be a yoga. That means if a planet is actually situated in one house with another planet, that is a yoga. A planet actually is like aspecting each other, that is another yoga. So in this sense there will be like many yogas, and then there are also particular specific yogas which doesn't need to be like situated in the same house, or which aspecting each other. It just need to meet some certain criteriums that will form the yoga. So there will be the number of yogas are like very high. There are like more than 3,000, 3,000, 5,000 yogas which are discussed in all the books together. So we cannot actually like go through all of them. So we are actually going here like mostly through the yogas which are actually assured in their result. That means they have the highest like strike rate. These yogas have the highest capacity to give the result. Or like if you see them in the horoscope, definitely it will give the benefit, or like it will give the trouble. So that those are the yogas which we are actually discussing here. So let's go to that. Can you see the screen? I hope you can see the screen. So, of the yogas, the first discussed ones are called as the Pancha Maha Purusha Yogas, or sometimes also called as the Pancha Maha Yogas. The word Pancha means five, Maha means great, and Yogas means yogas combination, or positional connections. So the five great combination, um, all of them will be available if you actually did really something positive with that planet. That means the Panchamahabhusha yogas are actually connected with the five elements in the Vedic system. So the earth, the water, the fire, the air, and the ether. So they are actually represented respectively with Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter. So these five planets represents the five elements, and these five elements forms or creates or establishes the Panchamahabhurusha Yogas. And in the Panchamahabhurusha Yogas, it is like very good, or like it's very important to have at least one of that, because the one, just one Panchamaha Purusha Yoga shows that you are actually in a higher frequency than average. So sometimes when people ask, um, like certain times we will get an assignment to check whether somebody is good for something. If this person is good for this vidya, or if this person is good for this like project or something like that. One of the primary criterion of checking is the presence of the Panchamahayogas. If one of them at least is present, it shows real like positivity. They actually shows the higher frequency in which that person's like chakras are vibrating compared to the average. And the more the higher, like like the more the merrier. That means if there are two Panchamahabhusha yogas, it is better than one. Three better than two. Five is very rare, but five is said to be like God walking on earth. So anybody who is not having the Panchamahabhusha yogas, having the human side dominant, it doesn't mean that they are bad. It only means that they have the human side way more powerful, completely overshadowing the divine side. But the presence of Panchamaha yogas like shows the frequency, the higher frequency of that person, by which they will be more close to the divine frequencies than the human frequencies. So that is the basic things of the Panchamaha yogas. And to have one, the previous life criteria is that you should do that much good with that element. That means if you actually say created or like redirected a river and kind of like give a water for thousands of people and other beings for many years, if you did something like that in the previous life, you did actually very good karma you did very good things in the past with water. Basically you will have that Venus in this time, or like Venus in this period will be like very strong, or like it will form the Panchamahabhusha Yoga with Venus. So the presence of a Panchamahabhusha Yoga is basically connected with that element's work in the previous life. If that element is worked well, or like you have done very good things with that element in the previous life, definitely in this life there will be a Panchamahabhusha Yoga that is associated with that element. So here, I hope you can see a horoscope. This is actually the same horoscope written in the northern style and southern style. That means you can write it in the northern if that is comfortable for you. You can write it in the southern if that is comfortable for you. In the southern style, the ascendant will be particularly marked, and this is actually the ascendant. I hope you can see that in the screen. So in southern horoscope, the counting of the signs starts from this point. That means this is the last point, so this is the first point. So this, you can see sun, this is the first point. This is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So in the southern style, the signs are permanent. So this is always Aries. This is always Aries. This is always Taurus. This is always Gemini. This is always Cancer. But the ascendant, you should mark like this is the actual ascendant. So because the signs are permanent, you cannot understand if you have not written which is the ascendant from a South Indian style chart. You cannot understand which is the ascendant, because if that person have not written that. So the ascendant is always written, and always the signs, or like the rashis, are fixed. That means they always, you can actually, they will never change their position. Like Aries is always the Taurus is always in that exact thing. But the ascendant you should write particularly. But when it comes to the northern style chart, the houses are permanent, but the signs you should write. So this house in the northern style chart, I hope you can see the point of that mouse. This house in the northern chart is always the first house. So this is the first house. Now northern chart goes to the left. So this is the second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, sixth house, seventh house, eighth house, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That is the northern style. Southern style, the houses are not permanent. Wherever you write ascendant, this is ascendant, then this is the second house, third house, like fourth house, like that. And also it goes to the right. The southern chart goes to the right, the northern chart goes to the left. But here the signs are not permanent. That is why they have written that 4 here. I hope you can see that 4. If you, I am trying to zoom that. I hope it is visible. So that 4, that is actually the sign number. 4 means the fourth sign, which is
Cancer.
Cancer. And here, if you see, on the other sign, if you see that fourth actually is in here. So this is Aries, this is Taurus, this is Gemini, this is Cancer. That is why they have written the ascendant. So here the ascendant doesn't need to write, because this box is always the ascendant. But which sign comes to the ascendant, you put that number of that sign. So this is 4. So the fourth sign is the ascendant, that is the Cancer. Now 5th, 6th, 7th, everything is from there. But in the south, you go towards the right. In the north, you go towards the left. So that is the representation of the chart. You can represent in whichever style that feels good for you. Generally, as I come from South India, we generally follows the South Indian style. So, but both styles, they are the same. Like there is no much difference between them. So now, if you see this horoscope, its ascendant is Cancer, and it has got Jupiter and Moon in the ascendant. Now, in the second house, there is no planet. In the third house, there is no planet. Is there any planet aspecting to that third house?
Venus.
Correct. Fourth house, there is Saturn. Fifth house, there is no planet, but aspecting.
That's Mercury. Mercury?
Yes. And
Jupiter.
yes. That's correct. So those two planets. Now here the sixth house, Rahu. Seventh house is Mars. Mars is aspected by
Jupiter and Moon.
Jupiter and Moon.
And Saturn.
Mars, how
Sorry,
you say
apologies.
Mars? Okay. Mars is aspected by Jupiter and Moon. And eighth house, aspected by anything?
No.
Exactly. Ninth house, influenced by Venus. Venus is positioned in the ninth house and aspected by
Jupiter.
Jupiter. Correct. And the 10th house, it is influenced by Sun and aspected by
Saturn.
and
Saturn.
And
Mars.
Mars. Correct. And the Sun is in the 10th house, Mercury is in the 11th house, aspected by no other planet. Then Ketu. Ketu is like the aspected by Rahu. So this is how you should read a horoscope, like you should consider the positioning and also the aspects. So in this sign, we said about Venus, but we didn't said about the aspect of the Mars. No, this sign. We didn't speak about the aspect of the Mars that is there. So that is the horoscope. In this, now coming to the Panchamahabhurusha Yoga. To call a Mahabhurusha Yoga, you need to have that planet which is giving that yoga in the in a very strong house. That means in its own house or in its exaltation house, and that house should come as a kendra. For a planet to give a Mahabhurusha Yoga, it should be in its own house or exaltation in a sign, and that sign should come as a kendra. Kendra, if you remember from the previous class, 1, 4, 7, 10 houses are called as kendra. So if a planet is exalted, if a planet is on its own house, and if that sign where the planet is exalted or on its own should be a center or should be a kendra from the ascendant, then that yoga is formed. So in this horoscope, can you identify the planets that are either exalted or in its own house?
Yes, all 4 planets in Kendras are exalted.
I think Mercury.
Except Moon.
I think Mercury is the only planet that's not either in its own sign or exalted.
Or yes, actually, all the 4 planets in the kendras are exalted. That is true. But is that the only exalted planets, or like only strong planets?
Also, Venus is exalted, but it's not in Kendra.
Aha. Yes. And
Also, Mars is exalted.
Mars is exalted. And so Venus exalted, Mars exalted, Saturn exalted,
Yes, Saturn.
Sun exalted, Jupiter exalted, and Moon is in its own house. So very strong.
Dr.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there a reason that Sun and Moon are not considered in a Pancha Mahaparusha Yoga?
Yes. Because Panchamahabhurusha Yoga are actually connected with the 5 elements, which are actually the differentiating factors in people. Sun and Moon are actually equal to all people. So there is no actual differentiation between Sun and Moon. Sun actually is the soul, which is common for all people. Even for this person and even for me, the soul is the similar. Even for that person who is actually the soul is similar. So soul will not give a correction with a differentiating combination. That means you cannot actually enhance the soul with an action, or you cannot actually reduce the soul with an action. As the soul is not susceptible to enhancement or reduction, there will be no particular yoga that is connected with that soul. Because yoga actually shows the particularity, particularly the Mahabhurusha Yoga shows the particularity. What make a person a great person? And it is not the soul, because it is common to all. Soul is not what making a great person. Or like it is not the intelligence or the mind, which is the moon, which is also not making a person a great person. It is the expressions. It is how a person using that potential and using that lifespan. Soul is the lifespan, moon or mind is the potential. So the existence and the potential does not make a person great person. The only thing that makes a person great person is how they express in the world. And how they express in the world is through the 5 elements. So the 5 elements are the deciding factors of the expression of a human. Because of that, the Mahapurusha yogas are actually expressed through the language of the 5 elements. That is why they are also 5. That is why sun or moon does not give a Mahapurusha yoga.
Thank you.
Sun and moon will give many other yogas, but this Maha, like whenever you see the Maha, that means somebody is better than the other, no? Great. That differentiation is connected with the expression, like how I'm actually expressing in the world is the factor that what makes me different. And in this, how many Mahayogas you can see of the 5?
4.
And they are, can you say their name from the above?
Actually, it's 3. Sorry.
Okay, 3. It's true. And how much you can say? Their names, can you say?
People have said in the chat Jupiter, Saturn, Mars.
Yes, I am asking the name of the yogas. It is just above that table. Can you read that name of that yoga?
So it's the Ruchaka Mahayoga, the Hamsa Mahayoga, and the Sasha Mahayoga.
Yes, so this horoscope has got 3 Mahayogas, the Ruchaka, the Shasha, and the Hamsa. Ruchaka Mahayoga by Mars, Shasha Mahayoga by Saturn, and Hamsa Mahayoga by Jupiter. So Ruchaka Mahayoga will make this person an amazingly strong warrior. Hamsa Mahayoga will make this person an epitome of humanity. And the Shasha Mahayoga makes this person very much connected with chastity or like purity or like the goodness of the character. And they will give every other thing also. The one which gives amazing level of comfort to a person is actually Malavya Mahayoga, that is not present in this horoscope. And then there is one more Mahayoga which makes the person like write something or like speak something or like something like that. That also is not present in that. That is called as the Bhadra Mahayoga, the Mahayoga because of the Mercury. And that is also not present here. So that is the Pancha Mahapurusha Yogas. So they all shows a great karma did by that person in the previous life.
Dr.
And if you see a
Vikas?
horoscope having this one of these yoga, yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Could you
Yes.
please explain why Mercury is not exalted here? Or why is Mercury not in the 3 planets that
Yes.
are Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter?
Yes. Mercury, to be exalted or like to be in its own house, Mercury should be either in Gemini or in Virgo. That are the 2 houses where Mercury is either in its own house or exalted. So here the Mercury is in Taurus. That is why it is not considered as strong or like super strong. And it is not giving the yoga because it is it is not in the Kendra of the ascendant. Kendra is actually 1, 4, 7, 10 houses. So from the ascendant Cancer, it is not like if you count from Cancer, Mercury is actually in the 11th position. So to give that yoga, it should be either in the first position or in the 4th or in the 7th or in the 10th. Venus here in this horoscope is exalted. It's actually exalted. But it is also not giving the yoga because it is in the 9th house.
Yes, got it.
Why
Thank
the
you.
planets? Yeah. Why the planets that are only in the centers give this yoga? Because centers are the easily accessible house. So Mahaprusha yogas are there from the moment the person is born. The moment that person is born in the earth changes the base frequency of the person. It will be there the moment the person is born and till the end of that life. So they are actually from birth to death. You will see the impact of the Mahaprusha yogas. And in that impact, if you actually like to see that planet should be easily accessible, and only the planets in the centers are easily accessible. Here that Venus is actually is exalted, but for that person to access that Venus exaltation, it will take some time because it is in the 9th house. 9th house is actually coming under the classification called apoclima. Apoclima houses are like late to access. So even if that person has got an excess Venus energy, to access that energy, it will take more time for that person. That is why it does not give him a Mahapurush Yoga. But this itself is 3 Mahapurush Yogas. It is actually what we call an avatar position. So this person will be considered as an avatar. 3 Mahapurush Yogas means avatar. Generally people say like it requires, so anything from 3 to 5 is 5 is like kind of like impossible, but other than that 3, 4 they are called as avatar.
Dr. Vikas,
Thank
could you
you.
please repeat what Malavya Mahayoga gives?
Malavya Mahayogas gives comfort. Comfort means like super comfort. Like they never need to work for anything. Everything will be provided by that yoga.
Thank you.
So very, very like a strong Malavya Mahayoga. They may not own a single penny, but they will live in the 5-star hotels.
Thank you.
Can I ask another question, please?
Sure.
If there's more than 2 planets in one house or in one sign, let's say there's 4. Is that 2 yogas in one position or not
Very,
necessarily?
very interesting. Very, very interesting question. That is not 2 yogas. That actually one planet connected with each one of the other planet is one single yogas. Then two planets combination is another yoga, and then 3 planet combination is actually one yoga, and the 4 planets combination is again one yoga. So
it's
a
4
4
yogas.
planets, 4 planets together is one. It on itself is one yoga. 4 planets together is one yoga. Then within that there is like a combination of 3 planets. So if Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Jupiter are in 4 houses in one house, there is Sun, there is Mercury, there is Saturn, and then there is Jupiter. Sun, Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter together forms one yoga. One. Then Sun, Mercury, Mercury, Saturn, Saturn, Jupiter, Sun, Jupiter, Jupiter, Mercury forms their own yogas. then Sun, Mercury, Saturn, Saturn, Mercury, Jupiter, Jupiter, Saturn, Sun, Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, all forms their own yogas. There actually is many yogas. But the problem is that because of that, if 4 planets are actually combined in one house, none of the yoga will have the power to manifest because it will get scattered. Yogas are extremely manifesting when like this, like the Mahapurush Yoga, when one single planet, because of its combination with the houses, give a yoga, that is when it will be clearly visible. The other is happening, but its energy will get scattered by the other. So Sun actually will give 2 yogas, and none of the yoga will have an energy to make an impact in that person's life. Because one's energy will be cut down by the other. So they need like they generally will experience only one yoga, that is the combination of that 4 planets. That is the only one that they will experience like seriously. The rest they will not experience. Generally,
is that because it's the stronger one? It's the stronger than others, or not necessarily?
No, because it is the only one where everyone will contribute. The rest, some will contribute, the other will block.
Okay.
And if the yoga that is given by the combination of 4 planets, basically excluding Sun, these 5 planets, if they combine, like 4 planets combined, it is called as Pravargya Yoga, and it will make a person like a hermit, like a sannyasi, like a deep yogi. If 4 planets are combined in one house, Sun is not calculated there. Other than Sun and Moon, if 4 planets are combined in a sign, that is pure sannyasa yoga, generally they will be like by birth sannyasi, or like they will be like by birth deeply spiritual.
And if the Sun or the Moon are one of those 4 planets?
Sun or the Moon or one of those 4 planets, they are actually considered as sannyasi, but arjita sannyasa, somebody who works and then becomes sannyasi. Or who like one example is that 4 planets, they are born yogi. If 3 planets, they study yoga and become yogi.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Dr. Vikas, may I also ask a question?
Yes.
It's written here. So if one planet is in exaltation or it's in its own house, and this house is a Kendra, then this Panchamaha Purusha Yoga is there. But is it also there if this one planet, which is in its own house, is in a Kendra but combusted? Does this matter if it's burned by the sun?
Combusted, as I said like last time, if combusted,
Yes.
inside their existence, they will experience the side of the yogas. That means inside them they will be a great person, but because of the combusted, it will not go out like that. That is the clear position where somebody has got so deep abilities and talents inside, but as the planet is combusted, it will not go out. So inside they will be different from the others. Inside they will have high potential compared to others. But if it is combusted, it will not go out very easily. So that much of a recognition will not be available from the world. So they will be great people, at least inside themselves, but the world may not consider them like that.
Okay. And there's also no way of changing that, right?
Changing combustion, there are ways, but that is more of an consultation point rather than in the astrology class.
Of course.
Because the solutions are there for combustion.
I see. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Dr.
Dr.
Vikas,
Sorry.
Go.
What
if the planet is retrograde? How does that affect the Mahapurusha Yoga?
Even if the planet is retrograde, just like I said in the combusted, there will be Mahapurusha yogas. but they will show that in a retrograde way. Their greatness will be in activities that are considered retrograde.
And when you say activities that are considered retrograde, you mean just an unusual expression?
Yeah, we have discussed that like in the last class, the activities, how the retrograde activities manifest. So like that.
Can I just add a question here? So does it then the retrograde, because then, most of the time there's maybe one, maybe two planets retrograde. And then does that affect that particular planet's aspect within that yoga? Or does it affect the whole yoga of all three planets? I don't know if I'm clear.
So in any yoga, if you're asking.
Yeah. If in any yoga, if there's one planet, for example, retrograde, does it
No,
then?
it will not affect the other planets. Any planet that is retrograde only affecting its own energy,
Okay, good.
not the
Yeah.
planet's energy.
And I wanted to ask you how do Rahu and Ketu in the same house as a yoga affect the yoga?
If the Rahu and Ketu are not eclipsing that planet, the yoga will be perfect, no problem.
And the eclipsing
So
is if it's within 8 degrees, you said, is that correct?
eclipse is particularly strong if it is with 3 degrees, like 3 degree 20 minutes, like consider 4 degrees. If 4 degrees, the eclipse is actually strong. 4 degrees on this side, that means the planet is going towards Rahu or Ketu, is very, very strong. 4 degrees on other side is not that strong, but still strong. Other than the 4 degree, till 10 degree, it is eclipse region.
Can you repeat again? So if the planet goes towards Rahu and or Ketu, then it's strong.
Yeah.
From 10 degrees
Yes.
up to 0.
Yes. That
And if
means
it's
a planet
passive?
Rahu is in the 10th degree in that house. And a planet, wherever it is from 0 degree to 10 degree, will be in the 0 degree to 6 degree will be in the fear of eclipse.
Mm.
From 6 degree to 10 degree, it is eclipsed.
Okay.
From 10 degree to 13, 14 degree, it is in the fatigue of eclipse.
Mm.
This is the state of the planet. So if Rahu is in the 10, 0 to 6 degree, every other planet is in the fear of eclipse. And 6 to 10 degree, close to Rahu, it is eclipsed. But 10 degree to 14 or 13 degree 20 minutes exactly, it is in the fatigue of eclipse, where the eclipse is over, but it is still going through the fatigue of eclipse. So that is not good position for any of these planets.
Thank you very much. Very clear.
Dr. Vikas, this is Nipa. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I was thinking that, the 4 planets in a house and, yogi, what you said. So is it any house or ascendant house, number 1? Number 2, what if there are planets which are debilitated, say, for example, in that house? Then what? So when we say concentration of 4, so 4 planets in one house, what exactly, which house, what does it mean? I'm not really clear about that.
4 planets in any house will give that yogic way of life. But if it is in the kendras, that yogic way of life will be accessed very fast. If it is in, say, in the 9th house or in the 8th house, like it will be not accessed very fast. Like it will be
And what
only
about
slowly.
ascendant? What about ascendant?
Ascendant is kendra, no? Ascendant is a kendra.
Oh,
So
ascendant
it will
is
be,
Kendra. Oh, yes,
yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Because of that, it will be accessed very fast.
Very
So
fast. All
by
right.
birth, they will have that yogic traits.
All right.
debilitated also will give that. Debilitation does not prevent a planet from giving that result, but that planet's debilitation will come as a missing or like a shortcoming in that yoga.
All
So
right.
debilitated will also give the yoga. It will give. But in that pravrijya, in that vritti of the yogis, that vritti means like the purpose of the yogis,
Mhm.
um, is that debilitation will be shown or like will be seen.
All right. Okay. Okay. So in Kendri house, first house, yeah, 4 planets, and whichever I mean, any planet. So it could be Ketu,
Any planet other
Rahu.
than sun or moon.
Yeah.
To
All
see
right.
a very strong like pravrijya is a very rare thing. I have only
Okay.
seen 2 horoscopes in my life where the
Oh.
4 planets are together and not influenced by sun or moon. They're
Okay.
actually, yeah, particularly like moon also, it will be okay because moon
Mm.
generally will not prevent a planet from going to that. But sun is there, it will actually block that in a way.
Okay.
Like,
But it will block the sun, the yogic pursuit
yes,
if sun happens to be there.
yogic pursuit, it will not block, but that, yeah, manifestation of yoga, it will block
It will block.
for a
Yes.
while, for a while.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Aspect also play a role. Yes, in there are many yogas where aspect does play a role, but in the Mahapuruša yogas, there is no aspect. You need to be the planet need to be in that house.
Dr.
Now,
Vikas, could you please explain why sun is blocking the yogic pursuit? How does that work?
sun actually does not block it like that. Sun actually makes it very slow because the light of the planets cannot shine at the presence of the sun. So the result coming from that planet will be very slow when it is associated with the sun. So basically, even though they will be yogi from the birth, they will realize their own like yogic pursuit very late in the age. So it will be not realized at the age of 3 or it will be not realized at the age of 5 because of sun's impact. The sun does not allow, or like other planets does not show their light when sun is around.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Dr. Vikas, now that we've asked all these questions about this one case, I just have a clarifying question. You said you've only seen 1 or 2 cases where the sun or the moon are not affecting. Do you mean in the cluster of those 4 conjunct planets specifically, or do you mean any even kind of aspect? And would an
No,
aspect also
Pravriti is a conjunction yoga, like the Mahapuruša yoga. It is a conjunction yoga. The planet need to be present, not aspect.
right? So for most of those people, then that the yogic the presentation of the yoga actually is more later in their life in most of the cases of the people that
Yeah,
you've
if sun
seen.
or moon is present, particularly if sun is present, the presentation will be very late compared to what's said in the book. Okay. Now going to the next yoga, Gajakesari yoga. This is a very important yoga. We call this the yoga of insurance because this yoga act like an insurance in a horoscope. So if that yoga is present, the person will recover. Like this is the yoga of bouncing back. It is called as Gajakesari yoga. It is formed when strong moon or strong Jupiter in connection with moon or Jupiter. So strong moon or strong Jupiter, connection with moon or Jupiter. The more strong the moon and Jupiter are, the more perfect the connection will be. So they can actually go to the depth, and they will come back from there. They will bounce back from any difficulty. So that there is like a strong capacity, ability to bounce back. Because of that, this yoga is called as the ultimate insurance. And there is one more importance for this yoga. It actually nullify the results of many of the bad yogas. So the Mahapurusha yogas and the Gajagesari yoga, these two yogas which we said now, they have the capacity to nullify, capacity to neutralize the impact of the bad yogas, which we will discuss the next class. So that is all. That is, in that way also, it is an very highly insurance. Like it's a big insurance yoga. Handi sarvagraharishtam chandra kendre brihaspati yatha gaja sahasrani nihanti ekopi kesari. So that is the capacity of because it is the yoga that shows the connection of intelligence with the mind. If your mind is always connected with intelligence, Gajageshwari yoga actually shows how much your mind is connected with your intelligence. And if the mind is always connected with intelligence, there is very rare chances are there for the mind to go down, so that that person will be able to recover themselves from every circumstance. So how much time there will be a shock inside a person, that is determined by this yoga.
Can you repeat that again, please? How much time?
How much time a person will be in a shock, that is determined by this yoga. The stronger this yoga, the easier the recovery from the shock.
Thank you.
So there will be very high presence of mind if this yoga is there, which help them to bounce back from every circumstance. That is the Gajagesari yoga. Now the third one is Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga means a combination that gives you regality, or combination that gives you higher state among humans. That is Raja Yoga. So it can be small higher state or big higher state. One of the yogas one of the Raja Yogas there are many type of Raja Yogas, but one that will always give result is called as the Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga. It is there in a horoscope when a planet is in debilitation, but the owner of that debilitation house is in a strong position. That means a planet is in debilitation, but the owner of that debilitation house is in a strong position in a kendra. Like it should be that owner should be in a strong position and in a kendra. So a planet is debilitated, but that the house where that planet is debilitated, that house lord, the lord of that house is strong in kendra, that actually gives the Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga, or otherwise an exaltation planet association with a debilitated planet. So like a debilitated planet is there, for an example, Mercury in Pisces with Venus. Mercury is in Pisces with Venus. Mercury is debilitated in the Pisces. Venus is exaltated. And over the period, Venus will share its power with Mercury and make Mercury stronger. That is the second type of Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga. Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga means the person will go into very big troubles, but from that trouble, like rise like a phoenix and reach into the zenith. Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga is not a lifetime yoga. The previous discussed yogas were lifetime yogas. That means you will get the result of that all the life. But in the Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga, the result is at the time of that planet. Whenever that planet is controlling or influencing, that is the only time you will get the result of that. So when we come to this horoscope, can you identify the planet that is debilitated?
Saturn.
Yeah, and
In the house ruled by Mars.
And
the Mars is in Kendra.
Mars is in 10th house. Is that Mars strong or weak?
I would say it's strong because of the.
Is that Mars is strong or weak?
Mars is strong, right?
Because of?
Because of the retrograde, no?
Correct. Very correct. Mars is only strong. Mars is not strong in Gemini. Mars is only strong here because of the retrograde.
Dr.
So
Vikas,
Venus is Saturn is debilitated in Aries, and that ruler of that Aries, Mars, is actually strong in a center. That is the Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga. Understood or any questions?
Would Mars also be strong because it has Digbala?
Yes, Mars generally is strong in the 10th house. But if it was not retrograde, then Digbala is not enough to give this yoga. Digbala is only good for calculations. In the practical sense, to give a result, it should have Sthana Bala. That is the only Bala that actually is meaningful. Digbala means certain planets has got certain strength in certain houses. That is called the Digbala. But it is in a case of yoga, Digbala is not sufficient. It should get the positional power, which is called the Sthana Bala, and it actually got that positional power because of the retrograde, and that is why that yoga happens.
Why is Mars retrograde strong in Gemini?
Every planet generally is strong in retrograde because retrogression means strength. Because it is walking back in the time. No, walking back in the time is a strong feature. And Mars is particularly strong in retrograde in Gemini because it is retrograding from where? Mars is in Gemini walking back means it is walking back from where?
From its debilitation point in Cancer? Maybe?
Exactly. Exactly. It is walking back from its debilitation house. Like it is actually walking back from its worst positions. So it will actually feel very, very strong.
Thank you. Super.
Now, coming to the next.
May I ask a question? Sorry to interrupt, but may I ask one last question about Nita Bangaraja Yoga, Dr. Vikar? So it's only the planet is debilitated, but also when it's very weak, or only debilitation?
Only debilitation.
Only debilitation. Okay, fine.
Only debilitation. Not if it is weak, it will definitely go to strength by that position. So if there is a weak planet, it got same kind of like position, it will become stronger definitely. But to give that Raja Yoga, it need to be like really debilitated.
I see. Okay. Good. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Now coming to the next. Vipareet Raja Yoga. Vipareet Raja Yoga is actually the 6th, 8th, or 12th house Lord in a 6th, 8th, or 12th houses. 6, 8, 12 house lords in 6, 8, or 12 houses. That is Viparit Rajayoga. Viparit Rajayoga, the word means ascension to higher status through circumstances which are antagonistic. Antagonistic circumstances to ascension, that is the meaning of the Viparita Raja Yoga. So basically that happens when 6th house Lord is in the 8th house, 8th house Lord is in the 12th house, or like 12th house Lord is in the 8th house, or 6th house Lord is in the 8th house, like that. And it only activates when a person get into challenging circumstance. If you have that, generally that only get activated if that person goes to a challenging circumstance which is activating that house. For an example, like 8th house Lord is in the 12th house. That is a Viparita Raja Yoga. That only activates when that person is going towards a death. So that is how the near death experiences are there. If a person has got 8th house Lord in the 8th house, 8th house Lord in the 6th house, 8th house Lord in the 12th house, they will go to the death, but then this Raja Yoga, this position will get activated, or this combination will get activated, and they come out of the death, or like they just skip the death. That happens only when they are actually facing that. So this is how some people go to the death and then skip from that, and then they become super good. Then you will see their status changing, their everything changing. Some people are there like who get into an accident. After accident, they get their luck. You may have seen in this in the life itself examples where they go to an accident, and after the accident they survive the accident, and after the accident they were a completely different person. You will see their frequency elevate after that. That is the Viparit Raja Yoga. They should go through that Viparit, that opposite circumstance, to activate this position. That means if you have that in a horoscope, it is important to make that person go through that journey. So earlier, like one of the question was there in 2 classes or something before. What is the purpose of 6th house activation or 8th house activation? What is the purpose? Basically, one of the final purpose where we need to work on our 6th house or 8th house or 12th house is when we have this yoga, which means that if you are working with that house, it will immediately elevate you. So it's kind of like we have kept a treasure in that house from our actions in the previous life. So working on that house will release that treasure, and we will get immediately better if we are working on that. So that is the Viparita Raja Yoga.
Dr. Vikas, I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
So out of 3 lords, 6, 8, and 12 house, does this yoga happen when all 3 of them are in there? Or if, say,
No, any one of them.
one of them is in there, and should the Lord be necessarily in his own house, say the Lord of the 12 in the 12, the Lord of the 8 in the 8, and the Lord of the 6 in the 6, or it can be the Lord of the 6 in the 12, or vice versa, like
Yes,
whatever way?
It can be. It can be any combination between 6, 8, and 12.
And does that affect the strength of this yoga somehow?
No, the houses does not affect. The planet's strength matters. So
Okay.
that
And
planet in the Dusthana, if it is strong, then only it will give a strong Viparita Raja Yoga. If it is weak, it will only give a weak Viparita Raja Yoga.
what if it's combusted?
You will feel amazingly good after that incident, but you cannot actually show that in the world.
Okay.
So after the accident, you will feel lucky, you will feel happy, you will feel elated, your frequency will feel elevated, but all will stay inside you. It will not go outside to the world. Combustion will block that.
Okay. And what about the aspects of the planets? You were saying previously that a planet having a drishti on a certain house is like a partial presence of that planet in that house. So what if the lords of any of these three houses are not in there, but are having drishti on their own house?
None of the Raja Yogas are sensitive to the drishtis.
None. So that
None
doesn't
of,
count.
none of them. Neither Nicha Bhanga, nor Viparita, nor Dharma Karma Sambandha, none of the categories of Raja Yogas are sensitive to the drishtis. It
Okay,
should be in
clear.
position.
Clear. Thank you.
But there is one level of drishti that is workable. That, for example, I will give you an example. If the 8th house lord is aspecting the 12th house lord, can be happen, no? 8th house lord with the 12th house lord, or 8th house lord aspecting the 12th house lord, or like 6th house, kind of like that, will create a very mild version of Viparit Raja Yoga.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Vikas, I also have two questions. One is just clarifying question. So we talked about how the 6th, 8th, and 12th are not accessible, but if we have a Viparit Raj Yoga, does it make the house more accessible to work on when the difficult circumstances arise? Like
Yes.
working through is accessing the energy of the house?
Yes, it will make a bit easier for you to access that. It will not make it super good, but it is easier, yes. And also it is more meaningful making an effort to access that house. Because you have a strong planet there giving a Viparit Raja Yoga, you should access that.
Right. And then my other question is, you said if it's a strong planet in the Viparit Raj Yoga, like a planet in its own sign or exalted, that's a stronger. And if it's not, then it's a weaker. What if what if a Viparit Raj Yoga planet is not strong in a sign, but it's conjunct the Lord of the house? Does that make any difference?
Conjunct to the Lord of the house will make a planet stronger, as we said, like as we seen in the previous, in the Nicha Bhangaraj Yoga, there is a question, and in that question we said like conjunction with the house lord will make a planet stronger in the long term, not in the short term, but in the long term. So it will affect how much positivity a Viparit Raj Yoga can generate, because how much result you will get of anything, anything, is based on the strength of the planet. So if that planet is weak, but in the later point it is going to become stronger, the Viparit Raja Yoga will be almost non-significant at the beginning, but later part of the life it will become more significant.
Thank you.
And does this yoga happen only in the dasha of the planet of the Dustana? No. This yoga happens when you are actually going towards that circumstance. For an example, a 6th house Viparit Raja Yoga happens when you are actually met with challenges. 8th house Viparit Raja Yoga become activated when you are met with distraction. Or 12th house Viparit Raja Yoga get activated when you are actually met with displacement.
And Dr. Vikas, you said if we have this Viparit Raja Yoga, it's good to work on these planets, right? But
Yes.
It's not clear for me because you said also it's almost impossible to work on planets in the 8th house. So if there's
Yes.
a Viparit Raja Yoga, it's better possible to work on that planet in the 8th house, or I don't
Slightly
understand.
better, yes.
Okay, I see. And also, if these planets are weak, I mean, also if they are not strong in this Viparit Raja Yoga, it still helps to have this yoga.
Of course, yes, but the help will be very nominal.
Very what? I didn't understand.
Very nominal, very minimum.
Minimum. Okay.
Mhm.
I see. Okay. Good. Thank you.
I wanted to check just still Katerina's question from before. So even if a lord of a 12 house is in 6th or 8th house, it's also Viparita Raja Yoga.
Yes.
Okay, so it's really any combination they don't, and then the strongest is probably if the lord is in its own house in 6, 8, or 12. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That is
Thank
very correct because the planet will be strong in its own house. So the strong planet will generally give a strong Viparita Raja Yoga.
thank you.
Thank you. Now coming to this is Athi Yoga. Athi Yoga is Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury in 6th, 7th, or 8th house from ascendant or moon in any order. The benefic planets, or like the soft planets, the Saumya planets, in the 6th, 7th, 8th houses from the ascendant or the moon. It's called Athi Yoga. It is considered to be a very strong yoga for leadership and warfare and such things, because the soft planets mostly will become inaccessible, and that actually take away all the confusion, all the softness from that. So in an activity which only requires like harshness, like a war or something like that, it actually is a very positive yoga, because it actually allows you to take justifiable decisions or like judicious decision without any emotional involvement. That is Athi Yoga. It's very, very rare yoga, almost very rare. But still, that is one big yoga. Definitely, you will see its result. But it should be in these three houses: 6, 7, or 8. From ascendant or from moon, in any way, in any combination. It can be in any houses.
Dr. Vikas, I don't understand. It's all the three planets in one house. Does it mean that? Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury in one house together?
No, all the three houses should be occupied. Ideally,
Ah,
all the three planets in one house will give, but it's a very mild one. To have that in perfect, to get a perfect Hatha yoga, one planet should be in one house, the other should be in the other should be in the other. But it can be
oh,
any, like Mercury in 6, Jupiter in 7, Venus in 8. Venus in 6, Jupiter in 7, Mercury in 8, or any combination of that.
okay, good.
But even like you are having Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter in 7, or Mercury, Venus, or Jupiter in 8, or Mercury, Venus in 7 and Jupiter in 8, or Jupiter, Mercury in 6 and Venus in 7. All of them are Hatha Yoga, but they are very mild Hatha Yoga. They are very mild Hatha Yoga. You cannot actually count on it that much. But if this exact combination happens, that is a very powerful Hatha Yoga, and you can actually be like a business leader. Wherever there is competition, this yoga is the best. If you are actually competing with somebody else for any purpose, any purpose, this yoga is the best yoga that you should have.
And Dr. Vikas, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah. So, since Rahu and Ketu really don't have the kind of designated houses like other planets, so what
Yes.
if Rahu? So if Ketu is in the eighth, then what does it mean? For example, or
No,
sixth?
you does not mean say yoga.
Okay. So if Rahu
Ketu
and
in the
Ketu,
eighth.
then it's not yoga.
No, at least in this class, like the class of the positive yogas, Rahu
Ah,
and Ketu are absolutely not good.
okay. Okay. So
They are
whether they
actually
are in the sixth or eighth, like so, there is no question of own house because there is no own house as such, and anyway they are not to be
no,
taken into account.
no.
All right.
And also, they are actually breakers of yoga. That means, for example, you have a Gajakesari Yoga with a strong moon and strong Jupiter, and that moon is eclipsed by Rahu. There goes your Gajakesari Yoga.
Okay, all right. ठीक है, thanks.
Now, next one, Nipuna Yoga. So these first 5 yogas are actually super good. Like they are actually, they, irrespective of your abilities, irrespective of your capacities, they will make you significant. The next ones are actually good, but not super good. They actually make you better, but they are actually not making you that better. And one is actually called as Nipuna Yoga. Is actually the combination of Sun with Mercury. And if there is a non-combusted Mercury with Sun, that will be great. If it's a combusted Mercury, it is okay. Just Sun's combination with Mercury in any house.
Dr.
That is
Dr. Vikas, sorry. So it's specifically strong Mercury. So if Sun is strong, conjunct Mercury, like for example, Sun here is with Mercury in Gemini. That's a strong Mercury. That obviously counts as this yoga. But what if Sun is in Leo conjunct Mercury? That's not necessarily a strong Mercury.
No, like the more Mercury is stronger, the more it is good. But Sun with strong Mercury, Sun with Mercury in Leo actually will make Mercury very stronger. It will not be stronger at the beginning, but earlier, I hope you remember that fact that if Mercury is with Sun in Leo and Sun and Mercury are friends, it means that Mercury kind of like get over time stronger. That Mercury will become more strong over time. And as Mercury will get more strong over time, that yoga will also be manifested in that way. Is it clear?
Yes. That in that particular case, it's clear because it's the strong Sun carrying the Mercury
Yeah,
along.
strong Sun combination with Mercury will over time make Mercury stronger. The capacity of the Nipuna Yoga is measured through the strength of the Mercury.
Right. That was my clarification. Thank you.
Yes. Now, just like that, Nipuna Yoga, Nipuna, the Sanskrit word Nipuna means skillful. So Nipuna Yoga makes the person more skillful than the average. And the next one is actually called as Amala Yoga. Amala Yoga is actually pure. Amala means pure. It is actually the combination of Moon and Venus, but Venus should be in the center with Moon. So please remember, in the Gajakesari Yoga and in this Amala Yoga, it is Moon should be in centers of Jupiter or Venus. It is not like Venus and Jupiter is in a kendra of the person's ascendant. That should be in centers of the moon. That means in Gajakesari Yoga and also in Amala Yoga, Venus or Jupiter should be placed in first house or in fourth house or in seventh house or in 10th house with moon, with respect to moon. So both of those yogas are actually moon yogas. They are not calculated from the ascendant. They are actually calculated from the moon. And it is called Amala Yoga.
What was the other yoga which is only calculated by the moon?
The Gajakesari Yoga.
Gajakesari, okay.
We have spoken about that as the second yoga in this list.
Okay. Thanks.
Sorry, Dr. Vikas, I don't see in this case how this is true because Venus is in the 9th, which is not a Kendra, like from the moon.
Yes, that what you said is correct. This is a wrong example. Actually, that moon should be in the kendras of the Venus. I'm sorry for this chart. It is a wrong example, but what you said is correct.
Okay, thank you.
So if we put the Venus in the 7th house, then it's again,
Perfect. It is
that's
perfect.
a good example. Okay.
And inside that, the stronger the Venus, stronger the moon, stronger the yoga. If moon and Venus are together in Taurus, that is the strongest of the Amala yoga. Because that is the place where the energy of the Venus and energy of the moon are in its best. Now coming to the next yoga, it is called as the Shashi Mangala yoga. It is actually yoga from Mars and Moon. Kind of like similar, but Moon should be associated or aspected, aspecting the Mars. Shashi Mangala yoga is Moon and Mars yoga. It is also calculated from the Moon. And that for that yoga to happen, the Moon should be either associated or aspecting the Mars. Moon should be Mars aspecting Moon is not Shashimangala yoga. That is the wording in Sanskrit. It is Shashi Mangala yoga. So Moon should either associated with Mars or Moon should aspect the Mars. That actually is Shashi Mangala yoga, and it will make person very wealthy. It is one of the cardinal yoga for wealth. The person will work for a small time, but the wealth will be for lifetime. So even without education, even without anything like that, the person will become wealthy by their own effort and by circumstances. And they will only work small time, but they will be wealthy for the life.
And Dr. Vikas, could I clarify using this chart as an example?
Yeah, sure.
I can see how the moon is aspecting Mars, but I can't
Yeah.
see I can see how Mars doesn't really do well in Mercury's sign, but it is conjunct Mercury. So I could see how it is strong through the conjunction with Mercury, but I don't see how the moon is strong. So I'm having a hard time seeing how I see that they're aspected, but I don't see how they're both strong for this example.
Mars actually is strong. Here the moon is strong because it is in the Pisces. Moon is generally very strong in every water sign other than Scorpio. So moon actually is strong in the Pisces, and also the yoga's functional planet is actually Mars. And over the period that Mars association with the Mercury, exalted Mercury, will make the Mars stronger, and that is how that yoga becomes strong for that Mars.
Okay.
It is not the perfect Shashimangala yoga, but it is a very strong Shashimangala yoga. So in that Shashimangala yoga, the moon's aspect to the Mars, and Mars is aspecting the moon, which creates the yoga. It is not like that person is rich from the birth. If that Mars is in its own house or something like that, then that person would be rich from the birth. Here it is not rich from the birth, but over the time that person will become rich. Because over the time, Mercury will give its strength to the Mars. That is why one of the best positions in a horoscope is having a very strong planets and also having other planets associated with that. Because the strength of the strong planet will be shared with the others, and it actually will make all of them stronger over a period. That is how it becomes strong.
And this yoga would also be good if the Mars and the moon would be in one house together.
Yes, very much will be, provided the strength of the Mars.
Okay.
So, sun and moon are light givers, The rest of the planets are manifestors of that light. So the functionality of that, like how much useful that light will be based on the strength of the functional planet. That means it is based on the strength of Jupiter in Gajageshri Yoga, it is based on the strength of Venus in Amala Yoga, it is based on the strength of Mercury in Nipuna Yoga, it is based on the strength of Mars in the Shashimangala Yoga. So that strength is actually what determines how much you will get that, or what point you will get that.
So if the moon or the Mars are not strong, then the yoga does not take place. Is that right?
No, only in a very mild way. You will not get any particular benefit from that yoga.
Okay. Good.
But that is how, when the astrologer should suggest for them things to improve the Mars or improve the moon, so that they can get full benefit of that yoga.
Okay, thank you.
Now this one is the Lakshmi yoga. Lakshmi yoga is actually showing comfortable positions. Like it is the Lakshmi means wealth in any, like spiritual and material wealth, like big luck, etc. So luck is determined by the ninth house. So ninth house ruler in a very strong house, somehow connected with Lagnesh, will give the Lakshmi yoga. A strong ninth house ruler, somehow connected with the Lagnesh. Lagnesh means the lord of the ninth, that actually gives the Lakshmi yoga. We will go to the ninth one after this. So Lakshmi yoga, it is the strong ninth house lord connected with the Lagnesh, the lord of the ascendant. In any way, will give the Lakshmi yoga. It provides for huge luck and also generally huge status of life. Now coming to the ninth one, it is called as the Chakravarti yoga. Chakravarti means emperor. So the ninth house lord with strong 10th house lord in the 10th house, it is actually Chakravarti yoga. It is also called as the Dharma Karma Sambandha Raja yoga. Like the connection between Dharma, the ninth house, and the Karma, the 10th house. Strong ninth house lord, particularly connected with strong 10th house lord. So even if the ninth house lord is not very strong, that is fine. But the 10th house lord should be very strong. Ninth house lord in the 10th house with the strong 10th house lord is actually Chakravarti yoga. Or that actually make you an emperor in the area where you are working. So in this horoscope, can you identify the ninth house lord?
Saturn.
And the 10th house lord?
Also Saturn.
Exactly. So the ninth house lord, which is Saturn, in the 10th house with the strong 10th house lord, which is also Saturn, gives this yoga. Saturn is actually the only planet which can give this yoga alone. No other planet can do that. Saturn is the only planet which will give this yoga on its own, because it is the only planet which controls the 9th and 10th houses. That is why, like a strong Saturn in Aquarius is it's an God-given signal for the Taurus ascendant. If you are Taurus ascendant and you have strong Saturn in Aquarius, that means you are an emperor. But it is based on the work. That means in the field where you are working, you will be an emperor. So that is the last yoga we discussed, the Chakravarti yoga, where the 9th house lord is in the 10th house with strong 10th house lord. 9th house lord in the 10th house itself is actually very positive, but to become Chakravarti yoga, the 9th house lord should be in the 10th house with the strong 10th house lord.
Dr. Vikas, I have a question on Lakshmi yoga.
Yeah.
If the ruler of the 9th house is not, say, strong, but just good, by your
Okay.
classification, 5 out of 10, this is not strong, but this is good. And it's aspecting Lagnesh. Does that make this yoga?
Yes, but on a 5 on 10 level.
Okay, so not a huge one, but a
Very
moderate one.
moderate one, but good. Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Will make the person lucky.
Dr. Vikas, I didn't understand. Is the Lakshmi yoga the Sashi Mangala yoga, or is it the Chakravarti yoga, the Lakshmi yoga? I didn't get it.
Lakshmi yoga is the last, the 10th yoga that we discussed here.
The Chakravarti yoga.
Now, Chakravarti yoga is actually 9th. Lakshmi yoga
Okay.
is 10th.
Okay, I see.
The difference is in the Lakshmi yoga, the 9th house lord is connected with the lord of ascendant. In the Chakravarti yoga, the 9th house lord is connected with the lord of the 10th house. That is the difference.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vikas.
Thank you.
Thank
Dr.
you very much.
There time. Oh,
Namaste. So,
Thank you.
so happy
Namaskar.
to see you this week. If you have questions, you put in the group. I will try to answer. Maybe for 1 week, maybe no answers, but otherwise after that, I will definitely answer them one by one. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.